Hey, this is the Animal, one half of the world famous tag team, the Road Warriors. If you want to listen to the greatest online action, listen to In Your Head Online.com. Don't miss it.
All right, we're back. Welcome to In Your Head Wrestling Radio. I'm the Internet Icon, handsome Jackie Jones, along with my right-hand man.
1-inch biceps, the power goat. The all-knowing 1-inch biceps. How about that?
Well, that was pretty good. And joining us, I believe this is his fourth time on the program. He's probably really sick of us by now, but he's coming back. He is Hall of Famer, one of my favorites. We got Tony Atlas here with us.
How y'all doing this evening, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing good. Always good time. Yeah, it's always good catching up with Tony. And we'll let everybody know you're going to be, again, at the NWA Legends Fan Fest this August, 4th through the 7th, Atlanta, Georgia. And you get all your information at NWALegends.com. We'll have the link right on the website. And are you looking forward to being there again?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Most of my career started in Georgia. I broke into wrestling back in the mid-'70s, and George Scott sent me to Atlanta when Ted Turner first started TBS. And the only time anything on that TV came on in color was pro wrestling. There was no CNN at that time. CNN didn't start until much later, but they had TV, and they show all these old movies, you know, Charlie Chaplin, and, you know, Turner brought up all these old movies. He started showing them, and then, of course, he put on the second thing next to the movies was pro wrestling, Georgia Championship Wrestling. And I started my career as Black Atlas, and I wore a mask. And Abdullah the Butcher, one night, it's a strange story, they bring in Tommy Wildfire Rich. And Tommy only supposed to have been there for a week, and his primary job was to wrestle Abdullah, of course lose to Abdullah, because Abdullah went in and out from Japan. So every time he come in, he had to get some young kid that Abdullah could beat up on in order to get him established again. Well, Tommy Rich was well-liked. You know, he kind of looked like Elvis with blonde hair. You know, wore the kind of dressed like Elvis, good-looking kid. We went out. Every woman in the place started hollering and screaming for him. Abdullah got a beating on him. His blonde hair turned completely red. Ole Anderson got scared because he was the booker. The people started coming to the ring, and they were just scared that they're going to have a riding on their hands. So he said, Tony, run out there real quick and break that up. So I ran to the ring, but I forgot to tie my mask. Well, when I got to the ring, I picked up Abdullah the Butcher, and I slammed him. People that never seen Abdullah the Butcher, he's anywhere between 350 and 400 pounds. He's about 5'11". If you can imagine, he looked like a giant bowling ball. So I picked him up, I slammed him. When I did, my mask came off. And that's where the birth of Tony Atlas.
No, I actually remember reading you had a story in your book that Paul Jones used to.
I write about that. Yeah, that's where my career really took off at. And Tommy Rich and myself, we were Georgia Tag Team Champions. Then I won the Georgia belt on my own, team up with Kevin Sullivan, and won the title. Team up again with Mr. Wrestling #2, and won the tag title. Team up again with Bob Armstrong, and won the title, and team up again with a gentleman by the name of Thunderbolt Allison, and won the title again. So Georgia was very, very successful for me. And Ted Turner, at one time, told us wrestlers that as long as he is running TBS wrestling, always going to have a place on his television, because without pro wrestling, there'd be no TBS, there'd be no CNN, there'd be none of this that we see now. In fact, Ole Anderson they wanted him to do the news when CNN first started, just to get people to watch it.
No, yeah, they're actually going to.
So wrestling got a great history in Atlanta, and plus I'm going to see a lot of people that I hadn't seen, oh my goodness, in 20 or 30 years. So that's why when Greg Price had these things, I'm always very, very honored to be there, because, like I said, I see people that I hadn't seen in years, and if it wasn't for Fan Fest, a lot of the wrestlers would never see each other, because we all live in different parts of the world, and a lot of the fans would never get to meet wrestlers that they used to watch on TV, and the kids would never get to know wrestlers that their father grew up watching, that their grandfather grew up watching. And the kids is a great education program for the kids because they get to see not only legend wrestlers but the history of pro wrestling. They give them a better understanding. And like I say, wrestling is one of them very, very few sports where the fans and the wrestlers could really meet, know each other, know each other personally. Like I got just as many friends out of the wrestling business as I do in the wrestling business.
Now, they're actually going to induct Ted Turner into the Hall of Heroes this year at the Fan Fest. Do you think he definitely deserves, the
Lord have mercy, yes. Because Ted Turner had the first, people, young folks don't know this, but Ted Turner had the first TV cable station. It was just him and HBO at that time. And he went into 48 different states. 48 different states. And believe it or not, the two towns where we got the most viewing audience for wrestling was Columbus, Ohio, and Wheeling, West Virginia. It was the two areas where that was the biggest ratings for Georgia Championship Wrestling.
So, when you were wrestling in Georgia, did you, when you lost the mask, did you prefer wrestling without the mask? Did you feel like you could really be more yourself?
Well, to be honest with you, in the wrestling business, for some little old hillbilly kid from the hills of Virginia, to be in that ring wrestling, and I was enjoying myself. Sometimes I'd enjoy myself too much. But it was just an enjoyment the whole time, no matter if it was with the mask or without the mask. Some guys may get on here and try to, give you a bunch of gaga, but every wrestler that ever stepped foot in that ring, no matter if he wore a mask or wore a dress, it just the idea of just walking into the ring and having people to cheer for you or boo for you, and and it was just it'd be hard to say which one was the most enjoyable for me. It was a lot easier. It was a lot easier on the fans' eyes when I had the mask on, though. But I remember when I took it off, everybody hollered, "Oh no, put it on, put it back."
We actually had Mr. Wrestling on too just a few weeks ago, and he said he's real. If he doesn't like you, he's real honest about it. Tells you he doesn't like. Was he someone you got along with?
Who wrestler too?
Yeah.
Oh Lord mercy, yes.
Do you have any stories about him?
Well, good and bad.
Yeah.
But I remember one thing about wrestling too was I asked him, like, he's a straight shooter. I'm very sure y'all gather that when you talk to him.
Yep.
And he's honest. Now, as a child, it's good to be honest. As an adult, it's not all that good to be honest. We would lose a lot of friends if we all decided to be honest. People always hollering about honesty. Well, stop and think about it. When an overweight person asks you, "How do I look?" You can't be honest. When your wife dyes her hair and it turns green instead of blonde, and she asks you, "How do my hair look, dear?" You can't be honest. You see?
Exactly.
If somebody is talking to you and they got bad breath, you can't be honest. So, two is honest. That's why a lot of times people can't take honesty, because I asked a little kid one time, I said, "Do I have a big nose?" The kid looked at me and he went, "No, not big, huge." Honesty. Then I turned and asked a grown up. I said, "Do I have a big nose?" "No, Tony, it fits your face." Now what you say? I got a big face? No, Tony. You look all right, man. You know, your nose fits you. You're a wrestler.
Right.
And you see them with the shovel just digging their way out. Yeah, so. But kids, no, you're going to get it right there and then and there. You know, don't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was with Dwayne Johnson one time and I asked this little girl, is I as good looking at him? The girl go, no. No hesitation. Now, grown up said, Tony, you look good for your age. You know. But anyway, too, is very, very, very honest. I asked wrestling, too. I said, will you watch my match and tell me what do you think? And he said, only on one condition, that you won't get mad at me or argue with me on what I say.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people ask for advice, but they don't really want it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we love hearing good things. But he said the reason he did that because a lot of people cannot take constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm.
And constructive criticism is the way of building things. Without it, you can't build nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's sitting there watching the match, and he sees the same thing in that match that the fans see. So whatever two told me, if I had one else to bring, whatever two told me, I should know right then and there that's the same thing the fans see.
Mm-hmm.
Or pretty much, you know, a lot of fans see, maybe not all of them, but quite a few see it the same way two saw it. So he only voices his opinion on what he saw.
Mm-hmm.
That the advice could be, well, Tony, you know, the match was absolutely horrible, or you could have done this in your match that made them more excited, you know, or whatever. But whatever it is, I didn't ask him to watch me to tell me how great I was. I asked him to watch me so he could point out my shortcomings in the ring.
So you could learn.
So otherwise you can't learn nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all got shortcomings. And the reason we continue down this road of failure, because nobody point them out to us, because they don't. It's kind of like if you, if you're a parent and you got a kid and the kid is acting up, so you try to give the mother some advice on the kid. The first word out of her mouth, "Oh, he's a good boy." But if he's a good boy, he wouldn't be acting up.
Right.
You know, he was so great, I wouldn't have to tell you this. You know,
Hello?
a little brat, spank him.
I think we got.
Now, I know I'm gonna get in trouble for that. Yeah, I said it.
I think we might have a little brat here. He called in. Patrick, are you on the line?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next time you call in,
Patrick.
just wait for us to call on you. But Patrick, I think, wants to ask Tony a question.
Okay. Hi, this is Tony, Mr. USA Atlas, and I'm in your head online.